Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, yesterday I came across this article about this Instagram model, a white woman who had been receiving a lot of direct messages from black men on Instagram. And in response, she put out a statement on Instagram basically airing these guys out. And, this is another example of some black men being so pathetic as to trash their own woman in pursuit of white women. So I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from this article or from her statement and then provide my commentary. So this is what she says. She says, PSA for the black males in my friends list and more importantly, popping up in my inbox. I'm not the Caucasian for you. Then she goes on to talk about if your primary reason for dating white women is because you're under the self-centered delusion that they are more submissive and understanding of your inherent refusal to get your shit together without the help of a romantic partner, I'm not the Caucasian for you. She went on to say, if you fix your illiterate, unmanicured fingers to type anything in the ballpark of devaluing black women in order to make excuses for your trash character, I'm not the Caucasian for you. If you say things along the lines of, I just don't like black women, I can't get along with black women, white women are better partners, I'll drag you from your untapered hairline to worn out shoelaces and proceed to embarrass the shit out of you before blocking you. If your timeline is amuck with white women emulating black culture, I won't accept your request. Although seizing the opportunity for a drag is tempting, there are just too many of you and my time is limited. So those are some of the things that this woman had to say. And I think that this speaks to the pathetic state of some black men. It speaks to the fact that some of these men fit that stereotype that Cynthia G talks about when she talks about black beta male simps. And that's what these people are. I mean, you know that you are pathetic when you have to degrade and attack your own woman in order to impress the white woman. I mean, that speaks to self-hatred. That speaks to a lack of respect for yourself and your community. And you're doing this all in the name of lusting after this white woman. You have placed this white woman on a pedestal and you are worshiping this white woman at the expense of your own black women. And it's a shame that this white woman has to be the one to lecture you about this. I mean, devaluing your own black woman in order to impress this white woman. People don't have respect for that. I mean, even this white woman doesn't have respect for these black men. They think that they're impressing her by telling her how wonderful white people are and this and that. But all these guys are doing is making themselves look stupid. All they're doing is making themselves look in a low light. They're making themselves look absolutely stupid. But people do this all the time. You see it all over YouTube where you had these black men actually putting out videos explaining why white women are better than black men. Doing ridiculous things like this. And a lot of these guys, they're quick to blame black women for their relationship issues without doing any kind of self-evaluation, without looking at themselves and looking at all the mistakes that they have made in their relationship choices, in their decisions, in their character. They don't evaluate themselves. They don't try to improve themselves. Instead, what they try to do is blame everyone but themselves. And they think that by running outside of the community, that somehow they're going to get something that's not within the community. So, this is just pathetic, that these guys would be this thirsty, this desperate, this weak, as to go all out of their way to chase after this woman, chase after these white women. It's just another example of some black men's complete fascination and obsession and idolization of this white woman. And before I close out, I want to make a couple of other points. The first point I want to address is this whole myth that white women are more submissive than black women. It's just a myth. It's a false idea. It's a false notion. And all you have to do is look at the example of former NFL player Albert Hainsworth, and his situation involving his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend allegedly physically abused him, hit him and all that kind of stuff. And also this woman called him the N-word on several occasions and verbally abused him in other ways. So that's a prime example, completely debunking this myth that somehow the white woman is more submissive than black women. And this idea that a woman needs to be weak and submissive just speaks to the weak character of these men. A lot of these men are weak. They don't know how to deal with a woman that has opinions or a woman that has an independent attitude. They just don't know how to deal with women in this modern age. They want to go back to the Stone Age. They want to go back to a time when women didn't have rights, when women weren't considered full and equal human beings. And that just speaks to their lack of character. It speaks to their weakness as a person and as a man, and period. So that's the first point that I wanted to make. The second point is this. She talked about like some of these black men having all these images of white women emulating black culture. And that brings me to this point about how a lot of times when you have these white women who are engaged in cultural appropriation, often it is black men who are enabling these white women to appropriate black culture. It's black men that are helping them, that are promoting them, that are elevating them, that are celebrating them. All you got to do is look at the example of this that white artist that T.I. helped promote, that white rapper, and then you look at these other white female rappers that black men have helped promote. And I can't recall the names, but there are a couple of them. That one that stands out to me is that cash me outside, trailer trash lady. I can't remember her name, but yeah, that girl, I think she was like 16 or whatever, and one of these black rappers helped put her on and get her popular and all that kind of stuff, get her popping and stuff. So it's like, it's just a disgrace, man. It is black men, in many of these situations that enable these white women to appropriate black culture, while at the same time these black men claim that they can't stand black women, but they celebrate these white women who emulate black women, who try to look like black women, who change their body features and get all these implants and all that kind of stuff so that they can look like black women, alter their lips and stuff so they can look more African and stuff like that. And it's just a shame that there's black men that do this. They elevate these people and put them in a position where they can appropriate black culture. So I'll just leave it there. Tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.